Here they go into the back. The blue light on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Mortz and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider, Seals to Sam, comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park, and Hayden King will find the winners for the weekend's racing.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is 4 deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more. And the West Australian champion has done it again.
Hello and welcome to Talking Trots for another week. One more week, they tell me, Mortz and Radley. So we can expect to see them back in the studio this week. But again, I'm joined by Glen Moore. Thanks for coming along, Glen.
That's okay. Yeah, it'll be good to have the boys back. They've had a good break, and I'm sure they're ready and rearing to go. We've got the two-year-old season underway, and I guess there's a bit of interest, particularly with the yearling sales coming up in February too, and how some of these young horses are going to go in the next few weeks leading up into the sales races.
It's a big time. Yesterday at Pinjarra, we had a string of trials there for the two-year-olds, so I had a brief look. Looks like a couple of really nice types coming through. We had Ruby Lou, who scored a dynamic success there, one of the high-priced purchases from Swan Do, and a couple for the Bonds that looked quite nice sorts, at least physically, so a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, I had a look at those trials. Yeah, some very impressive babies this time of year going as quick as they're going. They certainly can reel off some sectionals. They look quite professional too, a lot of them, so that all is attributed to very good management and getting them ready and early to go. Some of these juveniles have been up late November, I think, December, in the juvenile trials, getting ready for the January period when they can officially start racing, so they're pretty well educated.
Indeed, and it goes to show the strengths that the breed has improved by in recent years. It's been a great progression and a testament to our local breeders. We've also got a meeting coming up from Busselton tomorrow. It's the Busselton Cup meeting tomorrow night to run in conjunction with Gloucester Park. So we're going to take an eye on that, and our guest will be participating in that Busselton Cup. And I speak of Emily Johnson, a horse she's been having some real success with in the last couple of weeks is Briggs on Bond, who was able to win the final event last week.
Dwayne coming through on the inside, all got very tight there. Dwayne nearly came down as Ali Go Zoom moves into second place, and they were headed then by He's True Blue. In front, Briggs on Bond. Ali Go Zoom, the only danger around the outside. Briggs on Bond on tired legs. Ali Go Zoom coming. Briggs on Bond kicks again though, and Briggs on Bond will win. Second was Ali Go Zoom. Third, He's True Blue.
Emily, you've been having a really good run with this horse. As I say, good afternoon to you. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very well.
And good evening, Emily. Congratulations on your last season. You've had
thank you.
You've done really well, and getting the experience on the board, and now starting to drive in the city as well. Tomorrow night, clearly you're down at Busselton with some key drives. How are you finding it down there at Busselton? A tricky little track. And a baptism of fire, one would say, for some.
Yeah, it's quite a tight track, but I don't mind it too much. You get pretty used to it.
You've been working really hard over the last year or two, Emily, and I think that's really been displayed by your driving. I think it's gone from strength to strength, and it's something I've said a few times. You've really come a long way, and it must be a proud moment for you that you're getting all these opportunities as a reward for how far you've come.
Yeah, getting drives is always good, and a couple of trainers giving me opportunities here and there. Hayden's obviously been a big help in terms of learning and going over my races with me, and it's been really good.
Emily, what's your background like? You're obviously from New Zealand. I can pick that up in the accent. You haven't lost that. So what was the reason to come to WA, and what is your background? Where did it all come from?
Well, Mark was over here already. Mark Johnson, my brother. Yep. So he got me into coming over here. But in terms of getting into the sport itself, Dad's always been a big follower of it. We're always at trials and that as kids. And, I was going from meeting to meeting with him. And then, we got into the pony trots over in New Zealand, which we called kids carts over there. And I really just fell in love with it and found a stable to help out during school holidays, and went from there.
Is that the North Island, was it, or South?
North Island, Cambridge area.
Okie doke. And did you do any driving there, track work and that type of stuff?
Yeah, I started to do some track work just before I left. I was probably getting closer to getting my trials license, and I got that when I got over here.
Yep, and then straight to Hayden to Campo at that point when you arrived in WA?
Yes, so straight into Four Diamonds Pacing Camp, yes.
Yeah, well, maybe Mark wanted her to come over so he could get out.
Yeah, well.
He'd had enough.
Was there
of
any
it.
ulterior motives there, Emily?
Not at the time, I don't think.
Yeah, right.
But, they were looking for an extra worker. Mark put my name forward, and I was lucky enough to, they wanted me over here, so it was good.
The young horses there at the De Campo Four Diamonds Camp too, they're very big on the babies, right through the ranks actually, but the Campos have always been very good at getting the babies going back to Andrew and now Hayden over the years, and to the grandfather too, of course. How are you finding that, educating the babies? Do you get involved much in that side of it, or are they sort of are you taking them over to drive them on track work once they're fully educated?
I get involved early. Not doing most of it. Most of it's up to Andrew and Hayden helps as well. But we get involved early. I really like doing them. You see a lot of improvement. They start as struggling to know what to do, and by the end of it, they're running so that they can run some nice quarters. It's very satisfying to see. For sure.
You've got a lot of babies there. How many babies would you have in work, 2-year-olds at the moment, in approximate sets?
Probably have... Well, that's a very good question. Just had 2 go out to the paddock. Probably got about just under... It'd be under 10 up.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
Quite significant number, though.
Yeah, still a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of work. Busselton tomorrow night.
Yeah.
You're looking forward to any particular drive tomorrow night?
I thought two were good chances.
Well, we'll go through them now, Em. Let's have a look. Sure. Race number 2, you've got the Emergency Altair Star. Obviously, you'll be hopeful of getting a start there. What do you make of that race?
Yeah, if it does get a start, I thought if it were to step, it probably is a chance of running a place in that race. But, hopefully it can get a start.
Race number 3, you've got Montego, a horse that's been in really good form down there since Matty Scott's got acquisition of this horse. Unfortunately, though, you don't have much of a record, though. You had to pull her out of the race when you've driven her at her only attempt with you. Yes, there's a problem with the pins last start, which was quite unfortunate because she was quite a good chance in that race. But, hopefully it doesn't happen again this week, and I think she should go close in that race.
You think you can get to the lead there? You're off the 20 metres, but only one frontline horse, Moscato Rose.
Yeah, I think I can get the front. It looks like the one horse can step, and when it wants to, it does get away pretty quick. But I thought if I'm there early enough, I should be able to find the front.
Briggs on Bond in race number 4, that horse we played in the opener. He's gone bang, bang. You went down to Albany and partnered him to a success there, and then did it pretty comfortably last start at Busselton. I know the margin was getting narrowed up, but he never really looked like he was under any kind of threat.
Yeah, last start, I think it was his first time in front in a race scenario, so he kind of was pricking his ears at everything, and he actually had one quite comfortably when he returned to the stalls. He was hardly even blowing, so he was waiting for him a bit.
Yeah, I noticed that up the straight, that horse threatened for a few strides, Ellie go zoom, and then when Briggs on Bond sort of saw the horse, it reacted pretty favourably at that point and held on quite clearly, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's how it felt, yeah.
Tomorrow night, do you think you can pounce on the front and make every post again?
Yeah, I think he can. I think he can lead, and I can see a little bit of traffic for back markers, and if he can run a similar sort of race, I think he can get close.
Hi, Tommy in race 5. Obviously a very good stand horse over the years. 20 metres though. Bit of a task over the 2,030 metres. Gov Stars went pretty good when it led last start, obviously. Luke's Mistake can begin okay too. There's a few there that you've got to pick up. Doesn't look an easy assignment.
No, it doesn't look easy. A lot of luck will be required, but there's a few 50-50 beginners, and if he steps well enough, I think he can pass a few early and just hope for luck from there.
Minor Catastrophe for David Young. You've built up a really good connection with this mare over a fair while now, and tomorrow night you get your chance in the feature event of the season down there, the Busselton Cup. Can you make a claim for her taking it out?
All depended on what happens early, I think. She's been stepping really well, which I've been quite happy with. I'm not sure she's quicker than Micapello, but I think if she steps well enough, it'll look to make a race of it, and if hopefully we can slot in on the pegs.
Interesting one, because I'm the best, the form horse of Busselton, Trent Wheeler, Michael Caligari, he'll be ripping around the outside at some point anyway, so if Micapello does lead, you're tucked away, you could be the last man, or in your case, the last woman standing.
Yeah, that would be the hope for her. She's been going really well as a sit and sprint, so if we can peel off a helmet late, and should be able to give him a scare, I think.
Sprinted pretty good last start, Minor Catastrophe. I know it was lesser company, but times are okay.
Yeah, she did sprint quite well. I even think, if someone was chasing her, she probably could have got home quicker. I think she was just happy just to whack away once she'd put a margin on them. But, yeah, no, she did sprint really well.
The other Emily was able to get flies at night home last start, a task that's proven too significant for most. Can you follow in her footsteps?
Oh, Emily drove it a treat last start. The draw makes things a little hard early, but if we can get off early, I think we'll go a similar sort of strategy, handlebars down.
We're going across to Albany on Saturday night. You've got a few drives down there throughout the program, starting off in the first with My Grand Angus. Now, this horse was able to win last time out, coming from back in the field. You drove him, and he won pretty easily there in the end.
Yeah, he really felt quite switched on last start. Like I asked him to do, he really wanted to do it. He was really switched on, and the slow last quarter was obviously benefited him, but yeah, he still won quite comfortably.
Race 4, Pocket Full of Opals, you're driving. Pretty interesting field, that one, pretty even. The horse has got a little bit of strength to its bow and can be driven with a bit of assertion on occasion. How did you read that race early?
I think their best chance will be coming out the gate. There's a little bit of gate speed to my inside, but I thought she should be on the quicker side of them, and yeah, best chance will probably be trying to stay ahead of Sporting Grace.
Yep.
Race number 5, Triple Bree. She's a one pace type, so the distance will suit, but it looks a pretty tough ask there from 10, and Chasing Hill really on paper should be leading and winning. Can you see her coming into calculations?
It does look very tricky with the draw, and there's a few runners in there that, or most of them actually, have been in form. We'll just need shortcuts and a bit of luck. If they go hard, she can run top 5 for sure.
Probably the rail, that race, do you think, considering Chasing Hill drawn one?
Yes, I'll be looking for the rail.
Fair enough.
Heavenly Bliss, it all went wrong into the first turn there last time out. It looked a race that she was going to be a really big winning chance in, and just didn't pan out for her. Doesn't draw as well this time. Can you still see her winning?
I can see her. I'm not really sure, because the only time I drove her, she was just on the fence early and just whacked away. I'm not sure what she'd be like as a sit and sprint, but yeah, I think I have to sit her up and see how she goes. I'm really not sure how that race plans out, but there's a bit of gate speed, so I wouldn't thought I'd go forward. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'd have to go back and just hope for a bit of luck, I think. Just save her up.
Might need a bit of luck in the last race. Michael Young drawn 1 with Quintessence. How do we say that? It's a tough one, that one. Quintessence. It's a nice tongue twister for the commentators. Elder Freeway behind it. It's going extremely well, and you're drawn out in 4 with El Tachira.
Here's the thing, Glen. Emily actually knows the one very well. So
really?
She's driven it in a couple of trials, but that was some time ago now, so she might be able to give us the lowdown.
Yeah, I never minded the horse. I thought it had a bit of ability. Yeah, I think it should just win that race, really. Those races haven't been running much time. But, yeah, for my horse, the draw looks tricky with the two horses already starting, the two better horses of the race already starting on the fence. But, we'll be trying to run third, but it does look tricky.
In quintessence, tough one to say. I have a struggle with this one, I can see. Quintessence. 158 and 8 and 9 and trials too. 158 and 9, pretty quick. And the horse behind it, obviously, is going well as well. So, yeah, it's a tricky little one for you, for sure.
All right.
Yeah,
Among
does look hard.
all of those drives, Emily, is there one you're looking forward to more than the others?
I'd have to go to Busselton. I think either Montego or Briggs or Bond, I would say.
Yeah, Briggs on Bond looks a big winning chance. Hopefully we can get something for the punters there. All right, you've been doing a great job in recent times, Emily. Hopefully the winning run can continue over the next couple of days. You got, well, a bit closer to home tomorrow with Busselton, but you've got a long voyage ahead to Albany, so hopefully it's worthwhile.
Thank you.
That's
Thanks very much,
Johnson
Emily.
There.
Yes, guys.
Very good with her time. Glen. All right, that's a look at the country circuit over the next couple of days. Over the next couple of segments, we're going to chat to Bomber. He's been away for a while, and he's still actually away, but he's found some time, and
very good.
We'll be joining him in the not-too-distant future. Bayswater Mazda, corner of Guildford and Garrett Road. Get into Bayswater Mazda for all your automobile needs. Let's go to a break now, Glenn. As we do, Magnificent, able to win the member sprint free-for-all last Friday. He led, that was virtually the penny section, and he looks one of our top sorts and an emerging challenger for a position in the Nullarbor.
He's in the zone, isn't he? So, and he's got the speed, so he probably has to be driven defensively in that high class, but he's got that burst of speed. He ran a 26.7 quarter, 2 starts back when he made ground out wide. And, there's nothing wrong with that run. But if you put him on the fence tucked away, yeah, he'll be competitive.
Here's the members' sprint with Magnificent.
Mr. Fantastic, Volton 10, but he hasn't moved on Magnificent. 28.3 the next quarter, gets away. Cordero's into the clear, trying to wind up. Tiger Royal follows him through, goes into third. Goodfellas battles on, then Classic Choice at El Daytona, but Magnificent's going to walk in. Wins by 7 metres, second home Cordero, 4 metres away, third Tiger Royal.
Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Inside, on the outside, Three Rumours the favourite, will keep coming hard, and they're well clear of Beyond the Sea. So Three Rumours the outside, Rumour has it the inside, Rumour has it and Three Rumours. They're stride for stride, but now Three Rumours got the nose in front and drew clear, and Three Rumours comes home to win it nicely by 2 metres. Second home is Rumour has it, and they raced away. Gee, Beyond the Sea looked really tired that last.
The Rumours to the fore there in the fourth race last Friday. Three Rumours getting the better of Rumour Has It. Tongues were wagging, but Three Rumours was just a bit too strong there over the concluding part, Glenn.
Yeah, it never looked easy, did it, on paper? When the breeze was sorted out earlier and Junior was back in the field, he had to make that ground with Rumour Has It. Went enormous, actually, and made it very hard, and Three Rumours had to do a lot of work. Sort of at the 400 metre mark when it loomed up, you think it's going to win for sure, but even coming into the bell, it looked a fair way off, and then having to work to get up outside them. But in the straight, just outstayed Rumour Has It, and you'd probably expect it to do on its form, because I think most people had it pretty much a good thing, Three Rumours, but it had work cut out for it to come from last to pick up a horse like Rumour Has It.
Certainly with the map the way it was, Queen in the corner electing to lead,
changed everything.
Changed the race.
Yeah, you would have thought Rumour Has It probably lead and then allow Junior to come to the breeze earlier in that scenario, but because the one horse, Queen in the corner, kicked up, it made it a bit hard for Junior to go until coming into the bell.
Steel Blue boots, built for work, made for comfort. Get into your local Steel Blue stockist and snatch a pair. We're very lucky tonight, Glenn, because we've got our form expert, Bomber Hill, back. How are you, Bomber?
Yeah, very well. Thanks, Hayden and Glen, and Happy New Year to you both.
Thanks very much, Bomber. Great to have you back. What's the back to a 10 8-card race, which is good. We've been suffering with the 8-card races lately, but back to 10, very good. And the Knights of Thunder always adds a lot of interest to the program.
Yeah, it does. It's always exciting racing, and the map is important. I found it pretty hard to come up with a winner in those two heats, but looking forward to them both, and the final will be a ripper as a result. Yeah,
with the newcomers, Celesio Matuka for a start, and Joys of Lincoln in the other one. Both got gate speed and horses that have done pretty well over ease. That adds a lot of interest to those two races, that's for sure. And of course, the 9, the qualifier, the fastest 9. So even you win a heat, you're not guaranteed. So you imagine they'll be running some time. So the advantage for the second heat, of course, is they'll know what the first heat's run. So that's always a little advantage to how to drive the second set of heats.
Indeed. Okay, let's kick off this preview. Now, race number 2 is where we're going to start off tomorrow night. The WA Hall of Fame. Submissions now open. Pace 17:30 the trip. No market up. Number 1, Thompson Bay. He gets the pole again. Can he do enough to lead this time? Mr. Fantastic's next door in 2. 3, El Daytona. 4, Fire Rock, Fire Roll, who is now in the care of Giles Inwood. Number 5 is Without the Ta. 6, Rascal, who's first up. 7, Watching Our Coin. And 8, Val Bon. Who do you like, Bomber?
Yeah, I think there will be a bit of a speed battle to the first turn here. El Daytona, I thought, could be the beneficiary of that. I'm not sure whether Thompson Bay can hold up or not, but I think he may. And then you've got Watching Our Coin, which will also push forward. And I thought El Daytona could probably land his back in the 1-1. And he's a nice, good, strong horse to be following. And, he should be pretty fit for this one, El Daytona. I think he's 5th up from a spell, and drop back into this grade should enable him to run through the line. So I think he'll be close enough to be the one to beat.
Yeah, interesting race early, isn't it? Without the Ta is an interesting one for me, how that's driven, because it loves that 1700 start. It's got the gate speed. It's used it before. Whether tomorrow night they attempt to try the big cross, it'll be interesting from the viewpoint of the map, particularly, and what happens there for Thompson Bay, El Daytona, Mr. Fantastic. I just had a feeling that drawn right alongside Thompson Bay, they might elect not to try and cross the 1. What did you think there?
Yeah, I thought they'd probably have a crack. He's not blistering Thompson Bay by any stretch, so I thought they could afford to at least have a look and still probably get the leaders back, even if they know pretty early whether they can cross, I think, and the leaders back will still be there if they can't cross.
It makes a big difference without the tart too. If he's attempting that cross, and we've seen him do it before, he's pretty brilliant out. I'll see they're taking the hood off it tomorrow night too, which is interesting. Took the hood off, I think. So I don't know what that's all about, but he's a bit of a key to the pressure in the race as well as Mr. Fantastic early. But El Daytona, you want that pressure, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's going to be sitting just off it, so the more speed, the better for him, I think.
How many units?
Just the 1 unit. He will need things to go his way, but I think we're going to get a nice enough price.
Okay, that's race number 2 on the program. We do have those Knights of Thunder heats as well through the middle part. We're not going to be taking a look at those, but it's a really interesting series, Glenn, and it always has been. I remember it must be 15 years ago now, but I remember one night Steuben won.
Yeah,
were you involved with Steuben?
No, in the camp, but I wasn't involved with that horse specifically.
But he beat Has the Answers when he at the time was trained by Gary Hall Sr. and then, of course, elevated his career after that with Tony Svilicic. But when we had those heats, we had them weeks at a time. So
that's right. Yeah,
we had
the winners went through.
Yeah.
And so if you didn't win one, you had a second crack at
kept rolling along.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was an interesting dynamic. Of course, we have the heats on the same night now and the fastest qualifiers get through. So it's always an intriguing set of circumstances that develop. Race number 6 is our second race we're going to be looking at. It's the Joe and Margaret Patricevic Memorial over the 21:30. And number 1, Talks Up a Storm, has got his ideal draw. Jasper Villa Beach is next door in 2. 3 is Jetstar. 4, Classic Choice. 5, Ideal Agent, who's first up, but a class factor. And 6, Cordero, drawn the outside. What happens here, Bomber?
Yeah, well, he's not brilliant from the pole. Talks Up a Storm. I don't think it's his best position. So I think with that in mind, Jasper Vella Beach might just have a crack here. And I thought Ideal Agent might be the one. He finds a nice race to resume in, and the faster they go, the better early. If there's a nice burn for him, and then he can work up into the breeze. So I liked his trial about 3 weeks ago, and he beat a subsequent winner there, albeit in much lower grade. But he did get home in 27 and change, and I think if he can turn it into a dogfight, then he can be the one late.
Interesting, the 3 weeks, isn't it? That's the only query, I suppose, but maybe they're just waiting for this type of race. They've been probably monitoring the fields. Perhaps it's just the 3 weeks break from the trial I found interesting, but maybe just getting him that much fitter for the first up run, because the standing start trial was probably a softish type trial, quick last quarter. So maybe they've just put the extra work into it to make sure. Very good horse, definitely the best horse in this race.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing that kept bringing me back to him. I think he's the best horse in the race. I expect him to have a pretty big campaign, and I think he can just get up outside Talks of Storm over the last 800 and grind him into the ground.
The confidence level?
Yeah, 2 unit bet, fairly confident.
Yep.
I would like to see a little battle early. I'd actually prefer to see Talks Up with Storm Cross, would be even better. But if they can have a good battle and then he gets there at the right time, I really do think, like you say, his class will prevail.
On that note, we're going to go to a break, and as we do, one of the horses we just spoke about briefly, Jasper Vella Beach, was able to carve across, find the front, and he's racing really well at the moment, Glen. Yeah,
and you listened to the Parade Ring interview. We referred to it on the Gloucester Park preview as a possibility. What we weren't sure of, whether Jasper Vella Beach was going to hold the lead. But if you listen to the Birdcage, Shannon indicated that Gary Olsen, if he did cross, was going to hold the lead, and it went around a very big price based on those comments.
I know he went well, but watching our coins not at his best at the moment.
No, I think Michael Young referred to it. He takes a few runs, I think, to come back, and he's probably still finding his best form. So I think you'd be looking for another improvement tomorrow night watching our coin.
Yeah, you'd be hoping so, because
any other horse, a little bit flat.
Any other horse, you'd probably be happy with the way he went last week, but he's got better in him than that. So I was a bit disappointed how he went. Let's go back. Here's Jasper Vella Beach taking out that event.
Fire Rock, Fire Roll around the turn. Jasper Vella Beach in front. Watching our coins trying very hard. Acuto's out wide running on. Jasper Vella Beach in front. On the outside, watching our coin. Acuto's flashing late. Jasper Vella Beach in front though from watching our coin and Acuto, and Jasper Vella Beach does it all the way. And one from watching our coin, Acuto, and fourth middle page again.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
Here on the inside trying to get out. Shelley Beach, and then Per Adua at Astra. In the straight though, and Luca is doing it well. Trying to get out Belezanera. Down the outside are Shelley Beach and also Per Adua at Astra. But Luca is clear over the final stages from Belezanera, and Luca goes home to win well from Belezanera, and third, really tight. Per Adua at Astra on the
Speed map critical there. Belezanera ended up coming out, found the front, and Luca then inherited the lead, and from then on was never, ever going to lose. Our Shelley Beach really good in third.
Yeah, out of its comfort zone, breezing, but smart decision to pop around and rate and then cling on. So, and of course, you referred to the speed map. There was a sort of a thought that Belezanera could cross and then the retake it beyond. And anybody that read that, Belezanera crossing and sitting, got the benefit of that novelty.
Indeed. Let's look at the rest of this card just before we do. Loans 1, 2, 3. If you're on a spot of bother, contact Stevie Sell, 1800 100 100, and he will do his best to help you out. Race number 8 on the card at Gloucester Park is the third race we're going to be previewing, the Westrel Meshlock Security Doors and Screens Pace. And we do have a market here, 17.30 the trip. Number 1, post-game for Chris Folk, Gemma Hayman, first time out in the state, is $1.22. My Ultimate Chevron, the scratching in 2. 3, Stereophonic, $14. 4, Path of Gold, $51. 5, The Kraken, $71. 6, Richie Reactor, $101. 7, Star of Willoughby, $26. 8, Trooping of the Colour, $61. 9, Shoot Through, $51. Only horse besides the favourite under double figures is 10, Cut and Run at $4. 11, Rock and Roll Elliot, $14. And 12, Henwood Bay, $51. Who do you like, Bomber?
Yeah, we'll go a place bet here, Hayden. In Rock and Roll Elliot, I thought he drew quite well in this race. He draws to follow out a pretty good beginner, or he could pop back 3 back the fence, whichever they prefer. But either way, I think I'm not sure the pole marker is an absolute certainty to hold up. But just looking at his Victorian replays, he begins okay, but he's not blistering by any stretch. So I think they can afford to have a bit of a look early before making up their mind. And whilst he hasn't done a lot of mile racing, this bloke, it does look to suit him. He can run through the line really strongly here, and the stable's in good form, and when they're on fire, they tend to hold their form. So I think, he can certainly run a place. I'm more than confident he gets into a hole, but if the pole marker does happen to get crossed, then I think it becomes a winning hope as well.
Yeah, and Rock and Roll Elliot's a forgive run, wasn't it, last start in the 154 show pony race? Couldn't get into that race. It just didn't work out at all for Jocelyn in the run. Everywhere she went, she was just sort of pushed wider, and it's hard to get into the race the way the race was run. So that's a big forgive running 5th, particularly in those times, 154 for that class. It's fairly low flying, and if you're trying to make ground, very, very difficult. So a big forgive, and I can see why you like it for the place. And as you say, a knockout chance if something went wrong with the favourite early. How many units?
Yeah, a 3-unit place, but Glen, he's around the $2.40 mark, I think, and it's just, as I said, it's much easier than recent assignments, and a couple of forgives in there as well. So I think it just maps beautifully for him to run a place. So yeah, more than confident to have a 3-unit bet.
$2.45 currently the price on Tab Touch about Rock and Roll Elliot, the place. Race 10 is the APG Perth Sale, March 3rd, Pace, 21.30. And 1 is Roger James, 2 American Bullet, a couple of noted sit horses. 3, the Watchmaker, who is second up. He ran 3rd there at Pinjarra the other day. 4, Name in Lights. 5, Middle Page, a bit of a class dropper. 6, Frankie J. Holden. 7, Our Star Watch. 8, Strike Master. 9, Baltic Ace. What happens here, Bomber?
Yeah, I'm with Middle Page, Hayden. He's a massive class dropper, as you touched on. He's chased home in 57.4 and 56.3 halves his last couple, and despite being caught one pace between the 8 and 400 in both, he's been the one that's hit the line strongly, and much harder company. I can see him working to the breeze at worst here, and maybe even having a look for the top, and a repeat of his last 2 in much higher grade will have him winning this. I think I'm pretty confident we can go home a winner with this bloke tomorrow night. Yeah, and
probably Watchmaker's going reasonably well, but lacks a bit of gate speed, the Watchmaker 2, the one in the middle. The 1's very slow out. The 2's got gate speed, would sit. Watchmaker, I think, will get beaten out. Name and Light's quite a quick beginner. They may attempt to cross Watchmaker out of the gate as well, and then Lindsay can cart across with those horses. And it does look like there's a chance if he gets past Watchmaker to get the lead.
Yeah, I read it exactly the same way, Glenn. I think he follows the 4 across, and then from there he gets his chance to push on to the top. And if he does find the front and just carves out those sectionals he's done recently, they won't beat him.
What sort of price do you think? Is there no market up on that one? I don't think
I'd be
at this
happy
stage.
To take, yeah, I'll be happy to take anything north of $1.85. I don't think we'll get too big a price, but it'll be around that sort of $1.85, $2 mark, I would have thought.
Yep. Confidence level very high on this one.
Yeah, 3-unit bet, as I said. Even from the breeze, I think he can win it, but I do think he's a big chance to run to the front.
What's the multi? Have you got one?
Yeah, just a little place one. Race 4, number 8, into race 7, number 7, both for the place. I expect both of these to drop out the back in their races, but with any early speed and a little bit of late luck, they'll both be charging home at pretty good place prices, I think. So I think we get close to double figures, the multi for that 2-leg place.
So it was race 4?
Number 7.
8.
Sorry, 8.
Oh, that's Reuben's Plight. Yep. Interestingly enough, it's got form around Celesio Matuka. Those two fought out a couple of races in Melbourne from my memory of the replay. So that's an interesting fact as well. And race 7, number 7.
Might have time. There's $2 a place.
$2 a place. Yeah, that could be quite a nice place multi, that one.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I think we'll get sort of close to, well, maybe $7-ish.
Yeah, I was going to say you're a bit ambitious with the double digits.
Yeah, I thought the 7 may have been a little bit longer the place in race 7, but
probably drift out.
I think it'll get out for sure. Yeah. What's your opinion of the Celesio Matuka as a horse? Have you done any homework on him?
It's a little bit. I did enough to sort of stay out of the race. I wasn't convinced that he's going to come over and set the world on fire, but it does have gate speed, obviously, which is going to be a benefit going forward. But I'm not sure the race tomorrow night will tell us a whole lot, really. Well, I'd like to, I want to have a look at him, that's for sure.
Tell you what the worst beat last Friday was. Le Mondier. He would have just led and won. And they called the race off.
Yeah.
A little bit unlucky.
Yeah, it was
a perfect race for him, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was going to be trial, wasn't it?
Don't have to be dead to be stiff. All right, thanks very much, Bomber. Hopefully we've got some winners there tomorrow night.
Let's hope so, mate. My young bloke Blake's just about set me broke over here in Melbourne, so I need coin back.
I thought it would be the females.
Oh, they got their own. He's still young. He's still feeding off me.
Okay.
Enjoy the rest of your break.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
That's Bomber. Hopefully we got some winners, and it's really good to have him back, Glenn. That's the big thing.
Absolutely, yeah, and he gives you a great perspective of the way he maps races, and he's looking for value, and that's pretty good. That's what the punters want.
All right, we're going to go to a break now, and as we do, last week, well, this was an interesting race in the end. I think if you back the winner, it didn't turn out how you thought it would, but you'll take it because Diorce was able to salute at big odds. There's a bit going on in this race too.
Yeah, it was one of those races where there was a bit of a tangle up early, wasn't there, with Otis. And then Shell Patch, which we sort of expected to win because of its class and all that, had to do a little bit and was probably short of a run by the looks of it.
Yeah, you'd have to think so.
The overall time wasn't that great, so...
I thought Shell Patch would just win that race, but...
Yeah, and given the times not being that quick too, you would have thought... And Otis had to do a bit, considering the check early, then zip around. And
should have won, really.
Yeah, Shell Patch in that case, Shell Patch going to the breeze, you would have thought it'd been too good, but clearly needed the run. He may elevate tomorrow night. It'll be interesting. I think my gut feeling is tomorrow night they'll drive Shell Patch with a bit of aggression.
Well, Diorce, for last week's guest, Chris Vogt, he'd been racing well, but he got his just desserts in the stand.
Yankee Lincoln around the turn. Otis is in front. On the outside, Shell Patch. Diorce is finishing strongly, and then came Navy Street, and Feeling Ace is getting out as well. Still Otis in front, but Diorce is flying. Navy Street the middle. Navy Street, Diorce. Navy Street, Diorce. Otis the inside, but Diorce doing better, and Diorce has won from Otis. Navy Street, Feeling Ace is...
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Out wide on the track, I see Fire Gladys Gug, but I'm the best. Here's your Busselton Cup favourite to the turn. Out by 10 metres, second place is Jilmac, fighting on temerity. Over on the outside there is I See Fire, but I'm the best. Undefeated after 4 at the track and wins. Second there was Jilmac. Third we had on the outside.
He's been the Busselton Bullet this season, nigh on unstoppable. I'm the best. However, he will face his toughest test tomorrow night in the Busselton Cup, a race we've alluded to earlier on, Glenn. He will have to overcome an impost. I'm not talking about Trent Wheeler, I'm talking about the handicap, but he will be hard to beat regardless.
Yeah, look, he's flying. And listening to Michael Caligari this morning with Tim Walker and Diggers, pretty confident the horse can do the work and still win, but mindful of Mick Capello and Emily Johnson just sitting off them and coming one quick run at the end. So Trent's going to have to get this drive right, but it's just going so well that it's going to be the one to beat.
Also worth mentioning, we've got the first rendition of the Robert Howard Proud Pacing Cup. Good to see that added to the fixture down there at Busselton. I think we can find a few winners as well, Glenn. Just before we do, Retrovision. Save an extra 5% every day with Retrovision. Get in and see Morts and he'll sort you out. Race number 4. I like Briggs on Bond. Hopefully Emily can get the money for us there. Has won 2 out of his last 2 and doesn't really look like stopping. Looks another big opportunity if he can step to the front. Gee, he's going to take some beating. Yeah,
we threw it out last week as a good chance of winning that race, and it was pretty painless watch as it turned out at a reasonable price. I guess it's all about people trusting whether they can jump, but jump pretty cleanly, and if it does that again, I agree, very, very hard to run down if it does jump away cleanly again. Gov Stars is one that impressed me last week. I know it led, but it dominated that race. And to me, I think it can win again.
I was just about to throw it out. Race 5,
right?
Number 5, Gov Stars, and the other one is race 7. It's an interesting race here.
Yep.
I think it depends on the price, but Candillo's going to get a big chance. He was just not at the races last week. He was under pressure, running his race in snatches the whole way.
It was a strange one to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I went back and I looked at the run after the race, and there was no sign of any of that kind of business.
I was pretty keen on it last week too, and I did back it actually. It was definitely off. For sure, the way it travelled, I don't know what the story was there, but you'd hope for some improvement there, and if he did jump away and get the lead, hard to beat.
The other one in the race is obviously Alpha Princess, who's going to be very hard to hold out. She's a classy little mare.
She's due
for a Busselton grade.
Yeah, she's due. She's been expensive for the punters the last few weeks, but she's knocking on the door.
Indeed. That's going to run alongside Gloucester Park. You've got a couple of guests on the preview tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we've got Dylan Edgerton Green and Nathan Turvey, and Nathan's got 2 or 3 interesting runners. Celesio Matuko, the major new one that we need to find out how Nathan thinks this horse is going. First up, obviously Frank Rinaldi bought it, I see, and it went from Andy Gath over to Jess Tubbs for the last 2 runs, from memory, and still went well there, but hasn't raced for a few weeks now, so it'll be very important to talk to Nathan Turvey tomorrow night, and his comments regarding the other 2 from memory. Shell Patch is an interesting one. What he put that run down to last week, how much improvement he think he's got in that week. And Rock and Roll Sass, another very important runner, drawn one, a horse capable of leading. Will they want to lead tomorrow night, given the fact that he was a bit disappointing first up?
Interesting race indeed.
Dylan's got quite a few important ones as well, of course.
He's been an intriguing horse to watch throughout his career. I don't know if you followed him, Celesio Matuka, but Damien Burns had him, and he was a really nice horse early on, and then he sort of lost him in the earlier part of last year, and then he made his way to Andy Gath, and he had a bit of a renaissance there. He won the $150,000 Vic Bred for 4-year-olds, and then had those couple of runs for Jess Tubbs, so clearly got a lot of ability, and Nathan's now just got to unlock that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like that was good company, the Vic Bred, and beat some really good horses on that night. And if you look at some of his runs where he's worked out of the gate, done a fair bit of work, doesn't lack toughness, so you'll need that tomorrow night because it's going to be a hard run mile, and depends whether they lob in running, stablemates. If they're happy, I'd imagine they'll have to press forward here to try and get into the race, because it's going to be difficult to come off the track if the lead gets sorted out reasonably quickly there.
He has also crossed swords with Jaws of Lincoln in the past, so although that's some time ago, you can get a little bit of a cross-examination with Jaws of Lincoln first time out for Justin Prentice in race number 3, and Celesio Matuka to go around in the race immediately subsequent.
One thing that does stick out about Jaws of Lincoln is gate speed. Look, it's got tremendous gate speed, but it will need it, because we've got Stanford drawn 1, a quick beginner. Rumour has it, another very quick beginner, Raven Banner. They're all quick, and I imagine so Jones will want not a flying machine out, but has got the ability to be put in that race pretty quickly early once they settle. So the breeze will be interesting. And what Stanford does with Rumour has it, and what Chris Lewis, they've got to bear in mind fastest times, and they've got to bear in mind they want to win. But it's a tactical thing when you look at it. They don't want to burn up too much if they want to try and win or place, but they're also going to be aware of times. And so I just don't know what Jaws of Lincoln, whether they'll risk tacking out of the gate here, even though it's a very, very quick beginner, given the fact that Chris Lewis and Rumour Hazard and Stanford draw 1 and 2, they're both very fast beginners, aren't they?
Mm.
So, that's a tremendously interesting race, and I guess we'll get some comments tomorrow night. Tim might be able to grab Justin Prentice down the birdcage just to get a comment, because Junior obviously hasn't sat behind it, but he'll get an instruction from Justin Prentice as to how forward he thinks it is. You'd imagine it'd be forward because Knights of Thunder, they've targeted it. So you'd reasonably expect they'd be happy enough with the horse first up.
Albany is where we're going on Saturday night, 6:12 start time there. Michael Young's taking a team down. He's got horses in 6 races and he's a chance to win all 6. I've got a multi up 5 of them, 4 or 5 of them. I might do one with 4 and then I might do one with 5 and then you could do one with 6 if you're feeling adventurous. But Princess Katie looks hard to beat in the first. It's the one that I might put in my 5-legger. The others should be winning. We've got Chillin in race number 2, horse 6. He was a very strong winner last time out down there. Yep. Ideal Tomato. He has exceptional gate speed, draws gate 1. Anywhere near his top, he'll be winning.
And trialled very well too.
Sporting Grace in race number 4. It's the one I've left out of my other ones, but you could certainly see her winning.
Professional place get up, but it's got the class there to figure.
Chasing Hill's been well placed this campaign. He's won those 2 races at Gloucester Park, New Year's Eve and then a week and a half ago, and now he goes into a $20,000 Albany Cup. It's going to be a big coup if he can salute, and I really think he should.
Yeah, very well placed. We did refer last week to the issue of Rock and Roll Artist that could potentially change that race last week, and that's exactly what happened. And I think Firefly was a beneficiary of that. When it crossed, we did refer to it. Then Firefly did the retake, which changed that race completely, but a bit of a different task getting past Chasing Hill right alongside it, perhaps.
Yeah, and Chasing Hill, I know he hasn't been used up really. He's just floated out his first couple. He should be able to find
the retake will be on, but you've got to be careful something else doesn't.
Just got to make sure you're the first one.
Yeah, got to be able to get off, but it could well be the retake there, but Rock and Roll Artist is seriously quick out, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned, though. Chasing Hill's not slow.
Might do enough, might do enough.
The only thing is he could get keen if he had to be used up a heap to be there.
Yep.
But if you watch his last start, he was really keen on the approach to the gate, and then he charged forward, and as soon as he got to the front, he just was like a lamb. He dropped the bit.
Travelled nicely, didn't he?
Yeah, as long as he's in front, should be A-OK. Anyway, continuing on this multi, race 7, number 1, Quintessence, that horse we spoke about. You spoke about the trials as well. This horse trialled very well.
Certainly did.
Chased home at a spoiled major. Well, what price would you have at a spoiled major in this? I think you'd just about suspend the betting.
It'd be $1.10 chance.
Oh, less than that. I'd be taking the
being
$1.10.
Generous.
Yeah.
That's with the boost.
Okay. Yeah, you're a generous booster.
It'll be short, that's the point.
And then on Monday, Tuesday, we go to Pinjarra again on Monday, 12:42 start time there, and we get to see some more 2-year-olds roll round, and then Gloucester Park on Tuesday as well. 9 races to go with the 10 at Pinjarra on Monday, so really good to see some big cards of racing.
The 2-year-olds will always make it tremendously interesting too, to see these new young horses coming through, and not far after the sales races too, so that's in late February from memory. I have to look it up. But so they're all getting ready and getting experience and getting form to get ready for the heats for the Sales Classic.
Those races on Monday at Pinjarra named for the winners of the respective awards at Pinjarra for the 2023 season.
It's a nice touch.
Mostly predictable results. The only one I'm slightly surprised or interested in is the Beat the Bank Pacer of the Year.
Very consistent horse down there, wasn't he?
Yeah, I guess he just turned up week in, week out, did the job.
Yeah, he liked the butter up.
Yeah,
a lot of those were butter up races and he thrived on it, that's for sure.
A noble servant for Phil Duggan.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we could see him back at the track sometime in the future. I think that just about does us, Glenn.
Very good, yeah. Looking forward to tomorrow morning, the preview. We've got the 10 races. The boys will all be there, and the special guests. So we'll tune in the morning and see if we can find a winner.
And Gloucester Park tomorrow night, Timmy in the Birdcage, and Trent, unfortunately, he can't make it tomorrow night. So
you're the man.
I'll be out there.
Very good. So we'll get that last minute information from you, and you can analyse what's been said in the Birdcage too. And as you well know, it changes a lot of things when you're working out speed maps and that type of thing. It can completely change your tips.
Mm-hmm. That's been Talking Trots for another week, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed, and we'll catch you again next week.